Are parental consent laws in Florida at risk with Amendment 4? Let's dissect the legal tug of war on abortion rights in the Sunshine State. Well, welcome to another episode of You Can't Make This Shit Up. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has expressed concern that Amendment 4, the right to abortion initiative, might actually override parental consent laws. Now, the initiative, set for November, aims to limit government interference with abortion, protecting parents' autonomy and parental notification laws. Lawmakers' options diverge on political legal challenges and implement implications for existing law. So what do you say, David?
I'm just confused. It sounds like another court issue. It's confusing. I mean, the amendment to limit government interference with abortion, that's the abortion initiative. That is what's going to be on the ballot. And it says, in summary, no law shall prohibit, penalize, delay, or restrict abortion before viability or when necessary to protect the patient's health as determined by the patient's healthcare provider. This amendment does not change the legislature's constitutional authority to require notification to a parent or guardian before a minor has an abortion. I am so confused, and this has gotten so messy, and the courts are going to get involved.
Well, it's going to end up being the difference between minor law and and adult law. So, I mean, the way it's written, you cannot restrict access. So that would be a restriction to access if you have to notify a parent. So, yes, that would be in jeopardy of being a law that, takes away the parents' right to protect their children, to know what's going on with their children. So, yes, I think, again, it's a legal challenge, but it still won't prevent it from being on the ballot. And that's the initiative that I think they're pulling every straw out of the deck, every card out of the deck, because they really want to get this off the ballot. They didn't like the word viability. Look, this is a terrible written law. I don't like the way it is written, but the Supreme Court says it's fine. The word viability is a very, very tough word because, but I understand. So look, I say, let's vote against, what we need to do as conservatives is we need to have an initiative to vote against this law, making sure that we send a message that we do want to protect women and their health care, but we don't like the way this law is written. And I think we scare people when we go with 6-week bans and all this other stuff. Look, the 15-week, there is no controversy unless you're really progressive. But the initiative on 6-week, then you turn people off. Then you say, okay, they are trying to get into my bedroom. They are trying to get into my doctor's office. And that's not where government belongs.
Right. I agree with a lot what you said. Going backwards, the 6-week ban does scare people. Theoretically, a 6-week ban is a total ban. No one really knows that she's pregnant at that time. A woman really doesn't know at that time that she's pregnant. It's this new law, the 6-week ban, will kick in sometime in May. It's divisive, and as we just recently seen in Arizona in their Supreme Court upholding of a 1860s law prohibiting abortion except when the woman's health is in danger, and then later codified again in the early 1900s. This has got liberals and Democrats who support abortion rights more ammunition to get abortion as the number one issue for voters to address, particularly women voters to address in November. I agree with you. I did not support the ballot initiative. I did not sign it, sign a petition for it. I did not like how it was written because it did not address, and this is something I've been harping on, it did not address the right to privacy of the individual. And as the Supreme Court, Florida Supreme Court, issued their decision on April 1st, they said that abortion is not a privacy issue that was addressed in the particular 1980s law. If I remember correctly, it was in regards to TW back in '88. That's correct. It does not explicitly protect the constitutional right to privacy. And that was my main issue. I'm going to support the ballot initiative now that it is on the ballot in November. I'm going to support it because at the end of the day, I do support a woman's right to choose. However, I agree the language.
I believe listen, I believe 100% in a woman's right to choose. Okay, that is not the proper terminology. She has the right to choose who she sleeps with, when she sleeps with them, and how she protects herself. That's where the choice ends, right there. And if you choose anything that is unsafe and you choose to get pregnant, that was a consequence. So a consequence needs to be lived with, and unfortunately, nobody wants to live with their consequences. So don't tell me this is, a healthcare issue. It's not. It's a common sense. You need to control yourself. You need to know when you fall in love, who you want to be in love with, and who you want to sleep with. Period. End of story. That's the right to choose. Now that's my argument. And listen, I'm not going to support this initiative, and they can blow it down their hole, because viability is going to become, the minute a sperm hits the egg, is going to eventually become viability, because our technology is going to be so advanced that women will have to fear the technology and the innovation of our society.
Mm-hmm. I take that right to choose further. I agree with the individual responsibility, also the individual's right to privacy, to make a decision on whether or not to abort a fetus. That is solely up to the individual. I see our right to privacy, to make our own individual decisions, being chipped away, eroded, not just in Florida, but across America. And so that's where I stand in regards to the support of this ballot initiative, this constitutional amendment initiative.
Go ahead, David.
I wish, again, I get it. I understand exactly what the Supreme Court justices, Florida Supreme Court justices, were saying when they made the decision to support the 15-week ban, thus triggering the 6-week ban, and stating, I get it, abortion was not the issue that was addressed, the right to privacy to make a decision in abortion, to have an abortion was not the issue. They picked that apart. They picked that case apart, and I get it. I get it. And
Well, I don't think any constitution truly has a right to privacy. I mean, even though we use the term right to privacy, even the Constitution doesn't have a right to privacy.
well,
You
actually,
no, I don't.
yeah, actually,
I would argue maybe the Florida Supreme Court
the
does.
Florida Supreme, yes,
I mean,
they.
I'm just saying maybe ours
Mhm,
does because it's there,
mhm.
but like the Constitution itself doesn't have that right. So it is something that's not it's not enumerable. So it's our right to put it in our Constitution, and as long as you have a right to privacy, it depends on where that privacy is. Is that privacy all the way everywhere? Because if you're in a car and you have a window, you have a right to privacy, but guess what? People can see, so you can get in trouble.
If I understand correctly, and we need to get one of these constitutional law
Hmm.
professors or lawyers or experts on to
Oh
hash
yeah.
this out, because I love this topic, and I've been like a rabid dog on the privacy issue.
Hmm.
I believe it has been encoded that Floridians, under the Florida Constitution, again, I have to do my own research, and I encourage our viewers and
No,
listeners to do the
absolutely.
same. But it's been encoded that we have a right to privacy of information, meaning that government cannot encroach on using our information about ourselves, our data about ourselves to
Hmm.
benefit from, to profit from. And then also, in a very strict interpretation by this Florida Supreme Court, that there is a right to the individual privacy, but is in a very limited scope based on the decision that was handed down April 1st in regards to the 15-week ban triggering the 6-week ban. So there,
Well, I don't see how a right to privacy affects abortion. I mean, you have patient client privilege. That's a conversation that nobody can be involved in. The you know, let's look at this as what it is. This is just it's a fight that doesn't need to be. If we give the freedom, people are going to make the right choices, and those choices, it's heartbreaking. We choose to be in a free society, but we choose to have a government that wants to rule us like a king, or like a monarchy. But my final word is I will not support this initiative. It's the word viability is too vague, and I would suggest that Republicans address this not with the 6-week ban conversation, but as, look, it's not well written. Let's make sure we have something in our Constitution that is clear, concise, and to the point.
and my final word, I'm going to take a statement from Representative Anna Escamani, Orlando Democrat, who seems to be the abortion expert for the Democratic Party here in the Florida House. When asked about challenging the parental consent laws based on the statement that Governor DeSantis made, she said, I quote, I don't know anyone planning to do that, to be honest. There's always a distinction between laws that impact adults and minors, especially with this court. So, in closing, she says, before consent, a parent had to sign a paper that they were notified, which basically still consent. However, if you wanted to block access for your minor, you simply wouldn't sign. So I'm not too sure what to take from all of that. It looks like the courts are going to be right back at it again in regards to parental notification laws. I still support a woman's right to choose to abort a fetus, to carry out a pregnancy or not, under certain circumstances. However, that's a decision I believe that is a privacy of the individual decision, and not one that government should make. So I really
Well,
appreciate it. Joel
like
appreciated it, everyone. Go ahead, Joel.
I just want you to like, I want you to share, I want you to become part of our network. We are your political innovators. We're out there trying our best to give you the information that you need to make those decisions. Remember, bring your facts, not your feelings. We don't care about your feelings because we want to have
We
a
don't.
dialogue that actually gets something accomplished.
Indeed. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate it.
I